The Dales will never be the same after this week's earth-shattering events. We all knew the tension between Charity and that absolute nightmare, Dr. Todd, was building up to a breaking point, but absolutely no one could have predicted the devastating tragedy that just went down. A frantic confrontation spiraled completely out of control, and it has ended with a permanent, irreversible consequence for the doctor. What Sarah did in that split second of sheer panic is going to change her life forever. Before we dive into the gritty details of this massive cover-up and the explosive return of the ultimate soap queen, Sadie King, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Trust me, you do not want to miss a single second of our Emmerdale breakdowns, because this channel is your #1 source for the most accurate, jaw-dropping tea on the internet. Join our community right now so you never miss out on the juiciest twists. Now, let us get straight into the absolute chaos surrounding Charity, Sarah, and Dr. Todd. For months, we have watched Todd manipulate, scheme, and back Charity into a corner. We all felt that sense of dread, knowing he was pushing her too far. When they finally faced off, the confrontation turned incredibly volatile. It wasn't just a war of words. Things got intensely physical in the most desperate way. But here is the massive twist that nobody saw coming. In a frantic bid to protect Charity, Sarah stepped into the fray. In the heat of that terrified moment, a tragic accident occurred, leading to the doctor's sudden and absolute death. He is gone. There was no intent to cause such a horrific outcome, but the reality is that Sarah's hands are now tied to this unspeakable tragedy. Charity is now in full mama bear mode, completely desperate to shield Sarah from the very serious accusations surfaced in the aftermath. The sheer panic in Charity's eyes tells us everything we need to know. She will do absolutely anything, cross any line, and tell any lie to make sure Sarah does not go down for this. But we all know secrets in the village never stay buried, and the guilt is already eating Sarah alive. The paranoia of who might have seen them, who might figure out the timeline, and the looming threat of the authorities poking around is creating a suspenseful atmosphere that is genuinely hard to breathe in. It is an emotional roller coaster, and you can practically feel the anxiety radiating off the screen. While Charity is frantically trying to clean up a monumental disaster, the ripple effects of the village's constant drama are tearing other families apart. Just look at Billy. The man is completely exhausted. He has watched time and time again as the people he loves are put in the crosshairs of danger, and he has finally reached his breaking point. Billy is seriously considering packing up and moving his family far, far away from this toxic environment. Can you really blame him? The sheer amount of chaos that happens on these streets is enough to make anyone want to run for the hills. He is looking at his family, looking at the constant threats lurking around every corner, and realizing that if he doesn't get them out now, they might be the next ones caught in a tragic crossfire. It is a deeply moving storyline because it is grounded in real protective instincts. He doesn't want his loved ones anywhere near the shady activities that seem to infect the village like a virus. But walking away from the only home you know is never that simple, and we have to wonder if Billy will actually go through with it, or if the village will sink its claws into him once again. Speaking of trying to find peace in a chaotic world, Moira and Kane are finally making some genuine strides in healing their heavily damaged marriage. We all know these two have been through absolute hell and back. They have faced betrayals, heartbreaking losses, and enough emotional trauma to break any normal couple permanently. But Kane and Moira are anything but normal. The writers are giving us this incredibly raw, vulnerable look at two hardened people trying to rebuild trust from the ground up. It is not about grand, sweeping gestures. It is about those quiet moments of intimacy and rediscovering their deep connection. They are navigating their sensual bond and emotional ties with a renewed sense of purpose without letting their past mistakes define them. It is a slow, careful process. Kane is actually trying to communicate, which is practically a miracle in itself, and Moira is slowly letting her guard down. After so much darkness, seeing them fight for their relationship instead of against each other is exactly what we needed to balance out the intense tragedy happening elsewhere. But of course, in the Dales, happiness is usually just the calm before the storm. So we can only hope they fortify their foundation before the next wave of drama hits. And there is definitely more drama brewing with the rest of the villagers. Lewis is about to step into the spotlight with a massive romantic announcement that is guaranteed to turn heads and cause a stir. He is putting his heart completely on the line, but knowing the complicated webs of relationships in this town, a happy announcement usually means someone else is getting their heart completely shattered. The fallout from Lewis's bold move is going to create some highly entertaining tension that you will definitely want to keep an eye on. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have Kev, who is fighting a brutal internal battle. He has been trying so incredibly hard to stay on the straight and narrow, to leave his troubled past behind him. But the temptation to slip back into his old ways, to dive right back into the world of unlawful acts and risky business, is pulling at him like a magnet. The struggle is painfully real. Every time he takes a step forward, a new financial pressure or a ghost from his past tries to drag him right back down into the muck. Watching Kev try to resist the urge to break the rules is a high-stakes psychological thriller all on its own. If he makes one wrong move, he is going to lose everything he has worked so hard to build. But honestly, all of these bubbling conflicts pale in comparison to the absolute nuclear bombshell that is about to drop on the village. Brace yourselves, because Patsy Kensit is officially returning to reprise her iconic role as the one and only Sadie King. Let that sink in for a second. The ultimate, unapologetic antagonist is making her grand comeback, and the nostalgia factor is entirely off the charts. For those who remember Sadie's original reign of terror, you know exactly why this is such a monumental deal. She is glamorous, she is ruthless, and she leaves a trail of absolute devastation wherever her designer heels step. And the absolute best part of her highly anticipated return, she is heading straight on a collision course with the reigning queen of the Dales herself, Kim Tate. Just imagine the sheer power, the manipulation, and the razor-sharp insults that are going to fly when Sadie and Kim go head-to-head. It is going to be a battle of the titans. Sadie does not bow down to anyone, and Kim Tate certainly does not share her throne. The power struggle between these two fierce, unstoppable forces is going to provide some of the most phenomenal television we have seen in years. Whether it is a battle for business empires, family loyalty, or simply pure, unadulterated ego, Sadie's presence is going to disrupt the entire hierarchy of the village. The DM fireworks are going to be spectacular, and I can practically guarantee that neither woman will walk away from this feud without some serious battle scars. The drama is going totally off the rails, and I am here for every single second of it. So keep your ears completely to the ground, because the landscape of the village is shifting in ways we never thought possible. From Sarah's devastating secret to Sadie's explosive arrival, things are about to get totally wild. Thank you so much for tuning in, and remember to stay subscribed and keep those notifications turned on so you never miss out on our daily updates. I will see you in the next video.